What's up? It's Jay here from Lazy Ass Stoner, and I am finally back with a brand new tutorial. That's right, I'm not dead, I am still alive, and I'm going to show you today how I'm building up niche websites to promote digital products through Clickbank to make huge commissions, and I'll even be showing you a real life example of a website that I've built up that does exactly this. So without further ado, let's get to it. So the guide and case study that I'm going to show you today actually incorporates a lot of the same techniques that I taught back in my older videos. A lot of these still work, except I've added new extra elements to it. So some of the stuff that you're going to be learning in this guide includes stuff like outsourcing. I'm going to show you how you can actually scale up a lot easier by outsourcing a lot of the work to other people and exactly how I'm doing it. I'm going to show you how you can start incorporating digital products into your promotions so that instead of making, 4% or 10% per commission, you start to make 50%, 60%, even higher sometimes. And I'll even be giving you a sneak peek into how I'm incorporating YouTube into a lot of my sites now to build up huge followings and drive sales directly from YouTube. Now, the case study website that I want you to take a look at so that you can get a proper idea of exactly how this stuff works is over at numerologysecrets.net. Now, this is a website I set up quite a while back, and I haven't even updated it in quite a long time. I'm talking over a year. It's been a site that I've just had on the back burner, but it's continued to make me passive income till today. My most recent check, which was for the last few months of sales from this site, is for about $5,000. And honestly, if this was my main site I was working on at the moment and I didn't have so much else on the go, I'm sure I could actually get that up a lot higher. But that just goes to show you the power of passive income. A lot of the time when you build up these sites, they get established, they get ranked, they start to get autopilot traffic. That's when you really start to make money hands off and can then start to invest that money back into other websites or that website or whatever. You can buy Bitcoin if you want. So why numerology? Well, first of all, numerology is something that people are searching for in Google a lot. You can see in a keyword tool, which I'll get more into later in this tutorial, that there are a lot of people searching for it. There's also a lot of people searching for other related keywords. And basically, there's just no shortage of people searching for information about this topic. And second, there's a lot of people buying stuff for it. If you go over to clickbank.com, which is a popular affiliate network, you'll see one of the most highly converting offers right now is for numerology. And if you look at the commissions on this, it's pretty damn good too. 65% for every sale. Now, if you compare that to something like Amazon, where you might only make 4 to 8% of a commission, that's a huge leap. So with Amazon, for example, if you were promoting a similarly priced product, then you might need 30 or 40 sales a day to make $100 a day. But with something like this, where you're getting the lion's share, you only need 2 or 3 sales a day to make that same $100 a day. Now, don't get me wrong, I still love physical products. There's definitely a time and a place for physical products, but there's definite advantages to digital products too. Now, the third reason I've chosen this niche is because it's super low in competition. When you look at niches like weight loss and diet, yes, there's a lot of money in it, but it's also incredibly competitive and incredibly saturated. You're gonna have to be pretty damn good to be able to rank for some of those terms and to make money from them. With something more random like this though, the competition generally is a lot lower, and these are the kind of obscure niches that I really love to go for. So now I've seen the site, let's get down to the nitty gritty of how this stuff is done. So So step 1 is simply setting up your website. Basically, we need to register a domain name and get ourselves a hosting account. So for example, the domain name on this site is numerologysecrets.net, and to get a domain name, we just head over to namecheap.com. We type in the name that we want and it'll tell us whether or not it's available. Then we can just add it to our cart, proceed to the checkout, and boom, we now own that domain name. Typically, I recommend going for something that's not too long, so 2 or 3 words is pretty good. Something without hyphens because it doesn't look very professional, and if you can, go for the .com. Then we need to get ourselves a web hosting account, and if you don't have one, you can get really cheap and reliable hosting over at HostGator. Basically, you just want to click the Get Started button, and then you want to choose one of their plans. I recommend the baby plan in the middle because it allows you to host as many websites on the one account as you want. Then just choose the I already own my domain name option, and then type in the domain name that you just registered with Namecheap, then enter your information and your payment details, and you can also use the coupon DIRTCHEAPHOST to get your first month of web hosting for just 1 cent. Then once we've done that, we just need to go back to Namecheap to link our domain name to our hosting account. So we just go back to Namecheap, we go to our dashboard, we then click on our domain list and then click the manage button next to the domain we just registered. Then down here where it says name service, we want to choose the custom DNS option, and in these 2 boxes we want to enter the name service that HostGator will have sent you after you signed up. So if you look for an email from them, they should have a couple of lines that say name server 1 and name server 2. Just copy the name server 1 address into the first box on Namecheap, and then the name server 2 address into the second box on Namecheap, and then save your changes. And now your domain is linked to your hosting account. It might take a few minutes or a little while for it to register, but it will happen and it's connected. Then once that's done, we can go over to our HostGator control panel, which you'll also find the details for in the email that HostGator sent you after signing up. So log into their hosting account with the username and password that they've given you, and from here we can install WordPress with their quick install feature. So just choose the WordPress option, enter your site name, a username for your WordPress account, and then just hit the install button. And now you have a WordPress website all set up. Now it's pretty bare bones at the moment, it's just got the default theme, but we can spruce that all up by logging into your WordPress control panel by going to yoursite.com/wp-admin, and then type in the username and password that you created when you were installing your WordPress account. Then from here we can go over to the appearance section and then themes, and then add new. And from here you can search through hundreds of different free themes. So just find one that you like and hit the install and activate button, and boom, our site is now rocking a new style. Now you can also find a ton of other free themes to choose from by doing a quick Google search for free WordPress themes. You can then just download them and upload them to your WordPress site. And free themes really are great, especially for beginners and people that are just getting started. However, I do personally use paid themes on all of my sites these days because generally they do look a little bit more slick, but more importantly, the developers have an incentive to keep them updated. So sometimes with the free themes, you might find that they work great, but then after a year or 2, they start to get a bit glitchy when WordPress updates because the theme developers aren't updating the theme with it. But with paid themes, they're generally not only better coded and better looking, but they're always updated so that you don't have too many problems with things breaking or anything like that. The theme you see on Numerology Secrets is called Extra from a site called Elegant Themes, and one of the things I really like about these guys is they offer a yearly subscription that allows you to use as many themes as you want on as many different sites as you want. So instead of paying per theme, you can use their themes on all of your sites and you'll still only pay the one yearly cost, which is about $100 a year or so. But if you're just getting started and testing the waters, by all means feel free to use the free themes. I started out with free themes. There's no reason you can't build a profitable site using free themes, and you've always got the option to switch to a premium theme down the track. Each theme can be a little bit different with their options, but generally they'll add a new section to your WordPress control panel where you can kind of customize all the different sections, whether it's colors, you can upload your own logo, you can do all that kind of cool stuff from there. If you need help with a logo, instead of actually making your own, unless you're a really good graphic designer, I actually recommend just buying a pre-made logo. I buy most of my logos pre-made for all of my niche sites. You can find great logos over at Graphic River. You can find decent stuff pretty cheap over in the vectors section. Or if you want stuff that's specifically designed to be a logo, you can go to the logos section. They're about $30 each. But if you're really on a budget, you can usually find some pre-made logos that are free by looking for free vector sites, free logo sites, stuff like that. If you have a good domain, a good theme, and a good logo, you're already halfway there to making your site look like an authority and trustworthy site. Obviously, there are a ton of other options you can use to customize a theme. Generally though, if you picked a theme that already looks pretty good right outside of the box, you don't have to do a whole lot. You can always play around with it later on down the track. Usually though, I like to just find a theme that I really like the look of right from the get-go so that I don't have to change a whole lot later on. Now, the other thing we're going to want to do when setting up a new WordPress site is go over to settings and then general and add a description in this section here. And we also want to go down to the permalink section and choose the post name option. Basically, this will just make your URLs for each of your posts look a lot nicer. So you can see each of my posts on numerology is numerologysecrets.net/ and then it's got the title of the post instead of random numbers. This not only just looks better, but it's also good for optimizing your pages for the search engines. Step 2 is researching keywords. So once we've got our website set up, the next thing we want to do is start to research some keywords. Now, I've covered keyword research a bit in the past, and the fundamentals are still pretty much the same, but I'm using different tools to do it, so I'm just going to run you through the tools that I'm using to do my keyword research these days. For anyone that is completely new to this stuff, keywords are basically just terms that people are searching for in the search engines, which I'm optimizing my website for. The main keyword of this site is numerology, but every page targets a specific keyword that gets a lot of searches in the search engine, but that doesn't have that much competition. So for example, this page right here is targeting stuff like meaning of 111, numerology of 111, and stuff where people are searching to find out what the numerological meaning of the number 111 is. Basically, a lot of people search for these kind of random, obscure, niche keywords, but there isn't a whole lot of competition for a lot of them. So these are really the kind of keywords that I love. Making sure that your site is targeting good keywords is so important, because the best kind of traffic source I still maintain to this day is search traffic. And to find these keywords, we just need to use a keyword tool. There's a bunch of different options out there, but the one I've been using lately is called KW Finder. You simply type in your keyword idea, you hit search, and it will bring up roughly how many times that term gets searched for in Google each month. And then it'll also show you a bunch of related keywords that you'll be able to target as well. So if I type in numerology, I can see there's a couple 100,000 people searching for this each month. And if I type in some of the keywords that I'm targeting on my individual pages, for example, meaning of 111, I can see these also get a decent amount of searches, and they've also got quite low competition in the search engines. And there are literally hundreds of these kind of random keywords for this niche of people searching for different numbers, the meaning of this, the meaning of that. The list is endless. So many people still don't do keyword research, but it really is important to get the hang of this if you want to get your sites ranking for good stuff, because every day people are searching for this stuff on Google, and then every day people will come to your site, and every day people will wind up buying stuff. Try to find keywords that are that perfect middle ground between having a good amount of searches, so you want a few thousand per keyword. You want it to also be something that you can tie to a product. So for example, these ones I can tie to the numerology product. They're all hyper related, and something that's also relatively low competition in the search engines and on the social networks. Generally at this point, when I'm doing keyword research for a brand new site, I'd start to compile a list of keywords that I want to target, and each of these keywords I'd make a separate page for. And if you go to my numerology site, you'll see that a lot of these keywords do have a page for them. So for example, with the meaning of 111 keywords, you can see I've got a page right here that targets these exact keywords. You can also see I've got one for 1111, I've got one for 333, I've got one for 1010. The basic point is I'm not just randomly making pages about any old topics. I'm specifically making pages based on what people are searching for. If you create a free account on KW Finder, you'll be able to do 5 free searches a day, but you will need to upgrade to a premium plan if you want to do more. But it really is very beneficial if you want to get good at keyword research. Next is step 3, creating content. So now that we've got our keywords all sorted out, it's time to crank out some content to target those keywords. To actually post your content out, you just need to go to your WordPress control panel and then go to the post section and click add new. Then you can add a title and your text here, hit publish, and it'll post. Now, when it comes to content creation, you've really got 2 main options. The first is you can write all of the content yourself. Now, this is great if you're just getting started or on a budget, or if you know that niche so well that you know that you can create really good content from it by writing it yourself. The second option though is to outsource it. This is good for those that are sort of looking to scale up, looking to pump out more content. And often you'll find once you get more than one site on the go, or you have a rather big site where you're trying to push out content, often you might want to look into outsourcing. When I first started, I wrote every word of content on every site I built myself. But these days, a lot of my sites I am outsourcing just because it's faster and it allows me to focus on the bigger picture and, do some of the other stuff like getting it to rank in Google and promoting it on social networks and all that kind of stuff. If you're looking to outsource it, there are a lot of different ways that you can go. One of the ways that I see a lot of people go is they'll go over to Fiverr, or they'll just go to a site where they're offering sort of outrageously cheap articles. But the problem is, a lot of the time the content that you get from these sites isn't that great. If the prices seem too good to be true, a lot of the time the content you'll get will be broken English, it won't really make sense, it'll be quite obvious that it's a cheap article. I have seen a lot of people have some good success by going to some of the freelancing sites out there, like freelancer.com, where you can actually find people that are either skilled writers or also skilled in your particular niche. One of the problems when you're trying to do it through freelancer sites though is a lot of the time it can be quite difficult. If you've got a lot of content that you want created, then you might have to find multiple writers to keep up with the demand, and then you have to vet them and check that they're actually good, and then maybe one of the writers will stop writing and then you have to find a new one. For this example though, and for a lot of the sites that I have been building, I've been using a site called Word Agents. These guys are basically a middleman between you and content writers. In fact, every single word on this numerology site was written by writers that I found from Word Agents. And there's a few reasons that I really do like these guys. The first is that they actually understand search engine optimization. So they understand the need to place the keywords that you're trying to rank for in an article without going so over the top that it looks spammy, and also still making the article look natural. A lot of the time it's really hard to find writers that are also good at writing but that understand SEO, and that's one of the things that I really do like about these guys. In fact, for many of these articles, I've literally just sent them the keyword that I want to rank for. So I might have sent them numerology 1010, and then they've figured it out and they've written a whole article and done all the research, and boom, I've got it back. That saves a hell of a lot of time. The second is they're very reasonably priced. It won't cost you a fortune to get some of these articles. And the third reason that I really like these guys too is they can do volume. I don't just send them one article at a time. I've sent them lists of 50 different articles that I want written up, and often that's just a list of 50 different keywords. I send it to them and then they send me back a list of 50 articles. This makes the whole process easy because I can just set up my site, I can do my keyword research, I can send my keywords over to word agents, and boom, I get my articles back. If you do need outsourcing, go over to them, send them a message, they'll give you a quote, and boom, it's done. However, whether you outsource it or you do it yourself, there are a few things that you're gonna wanna know to make sure that your posts are optimized for both the search engines and your actual visitors. The first thing is obviously make sure that the keyword that you're targeting on each article is sprinkled throughout the article. So I'm talking about including it in the title and as well in several places throughout the text. Now, don't go too crazy with this. You don't want to make every second word your keyword, but a few times is enough. You can also throw in some variations. So, I might write numerology of 111. I might write the meaning of 111. You don't need to get too anal about exactly how many times to throw it in or where or what. Just make sure it's in the title and a few places within your content. The whole reason for this is because Google will scan over each of your articles to figure out what they're about and what they should be ranking for. So it's really important that you have your keywords in each of your articles. So when Google sees that this article has the meaning of 111 in the title and the description and everything like that, it knows that this article is about that keyword and should rank for meaning of 111. The next important thing is formatting. So you want your post to actually look good and readable. The last thing you want is some butt ugly wall of text that's just going to instantly make people click back. Good formatting basically just means making sure that you've got paragraphs in your text, that you're breaking it up with headlines, and that you've got images as well. Always remember that a lot of people will scan your content. They're not going to read the whole article, so it is important to have eye-catching headlines that can bring people's attention back into the content and tell people what that next paragraph is about. If you're looking for royalty-free images that you can use on your site without having to link back or anything like that, I also recommend checking out pixabay.com. They've got a great collection of high-quality free images that you can use in all of your posts. You'll also be able to add a featured image over here that will show up as your main picture when you go to post something. Now, the last important thing with your content is you also want to interlink like crazy. And by this I mean linking between your specific posts. So when you mention a topic in one post that you also have another post about, you want to link that text to that other post. So think of how Wikipedia does it. Every time they mention a topic that they have another page about, they link that word to the actual page. And what this does is help to tell Google that page is definitely about that thing. So when Wikipedia mentions apples, they're going to link to their apples page. Google will see that. They'll say this other page is about apples. And the more pages that they have that link back to that apples page using the text apples, the more that signifies to Google that that page really deserves to rank for apples. Another way that this helps too is it gets people to click on more than one page on your site, which in turn Google loves to see. They love to see it when people are viewing multiple pages on your site. The long story short is that interlinking between your page as well is one of the best things that you can do to make sure that you rank in the search engines. Step 4 is installing plugins. Now, if you're new to WordPress, one of the great features about it is that you can install pre-made plugins that other people have created that add features to your website, and you can find plugins that can do basically anything you want. So if you can think of a feature that you want to add, chances are there's a plugin that someone's created that allows you to do just that. That's why WordPress is great. You don't need to know how to code, you don't need to know how to add all these extra stuff yourself. You just plug in stuff that other people have made. Now, to install plugins, you just go to your WordPress control panel, you go over to the plugin section, and then you go to add new. Then you can just do a search and find plugins for different things. Now, there are a lot of different plugins out there that you can install, but the two essential type of plugins that I'm going to recommend that you install that I use on all of my sites is, first of all, an SEO plugin. So this will help to optimize your site for the search engines. The plugin I use for this is called SEO by Yoast. So just search for that in the plugin section, should turn up, then you can just install it and activate it. And what this will do is allow you to customize how each post will look in the Google search engine results. So here you can change the title, here you can set the description, and that will change how it turns up in Google. The other cool thing is it also allows you to do the same thing for Facebook and Twitter, so you can customize the title and add an image and a description to make sure that your posts are looking good when they get shared on the social networks. The second type of plugin that I recommend you install is a social plugin. So something that adds nice prominent sharing buttons to each of your posts. Now, some themes do actually already have this capability included. If you take a look in the theme options of whatever theme you're using, there might already be a sharing capability that you like. Then you can just activate that, and I usually just make sure that the top ones are activated. So that's usually Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. For my sites, I'm actually using a plugin called Social Warfare. It is a paid plugin, but it does have some cool capabilities. It looks really good, though by all means, you don't have to go for a paid plugin. There are tons of good free social plugins out there. You just want to make sure that you have some really prominent buttons on each of your pages, prompting people to share it. Naturally, there are a lot of other different types of plugins that you can install, but if you're just starting out, these are really the essentials. I wouldn't bother with too much right now. You can always play around with new plugins later on. So now we've got our plugin set up. Step 5 is monetizing your site. So once you've got your content up, the next thing you're going to want to do is throw up some ads to monetize your content. Now, for my numerology site, I've actually made some custom ads in Photoshop to promote this product. But if you're not so handy with Photoshop and you're looking to promote one of these style offers, you can usually find an affiliate section somewhere that already has a lot of pre-made banners. Then we can simply place the banner somewhere prominent on our website. You can do this manually by going into each of your blog posts and inserting your images inside of them, or you can use plugins to automatically place your images for you. There are a whole bunch of plugins out there. Ad Inserter is pretty good. These are especially good if you've got a lot of posts and you don't want to manually put them all in yourself. Then we need to get our affiliate link. So because this is on Clickbank, I'd go over to clickbank.com. I'd find the offer, I'd click promote, and then I'd enter my Clickbank username and I would get my affiliate link. So every time someone clicks on this link and buys something, I'll get credited with the sale. title. Then I would just select my banners, I would choose the hyperlink option, and then I would add my link there. Now every time someone clicks on that banner, they'll be taken to the sales page. Every time they buy something, I get paid. You can also put text links into your content. You can really be quite creative with it and test a lot of stuff. You'll see I've also thrown up a notification bar on this site, which is this bar down the bottom here that goes to the affiliate offer, and this also gets quite a few sales, and it works pretty well for a lot of different sites. The plugin that I use to do this is called WP Notification Bar, and it's good because you can set it so that it's always on the screen, so that no matter what point of the article a person is, they'll always have that ad there prompting them to click through. But when you're just getting started out, just keep it simple. You won't be able to find out what works the best anyway until you get a lot of traffic coming in. So it's best to just throw up a few banners and then focus on getting traffic to your site. Then once you've got a few people rolling in, you can play around with, what kind of banners work best, what banner locations, whether text ads work best, all that kind of stuff. As I've covered in previous videos, you can also throw AdSense on your site to make extra money. You can throw Amazon links, you can throw out links for anything you want. But because this site is really just geared around this specific digital product, and I found it pretty much converts better than AdSense, better than anything. I've used all my most prominent places for this Clickbank offer. But by all means, test out some AdSense, test out some Amazon stuff, test out whatever. You can throw up ads in this way for any kind of affiliate marketing product you want, or your own products if you have them. Once you get to the stage where you are ranking for stuff and getting more traffic, that's when you can really start to fine-tune what kind of ads work best, what kind of products work best, and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes when you're just starting a site and have no traffic yet, it is kind of hard to guess which affiliate program is going to convert the best. So it's best to just go with the one that you think looks the best, and then test all that stuff later on once you've actually got some traffic rolling into the site. Step 6 is growing your social accounts. So once you've got your site up and looking good, you've got your content and it's monetized, the last thing you need is some actual people to come to your site. And the way that I like to do this is with some clever social marketing. Specifically, what I'm talking about is growing big, niche-related accounts for your site on all of the biggest social networks out there, and then using them to promote your content. So I'm talking about Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest and all that good stuff. Not only will you be able to get a lot of traffic directly from the social networks, but this is also the key to getting your content to actually rank in the search engine, which is ultimately where the most profitable traffic will come from. As you can see here, my numerology site is ranking in the top spots of Google for a ton of my keywords, and this is pretty much all thanks to my social accounts. I've got #1 ranking after #1 ranking after #1 ranking. All of these keywords are sitting healthily on the first page of Google. Now, I've covered this in the past, but basically the reason this works is when you have big niche-related accounts and you're sharing out your content and it's getting a lot of reshares, it'll also attract a lot of links naturally from other websites, and this is exactly the kind of thing that Google likes to see, and exactly how I get my sites ranked in the search engines. You want to think of your social profiles as a kind of springboard for all of your content. Every time you add a new piece of content, you want to post it out through your social network, and the bigger your social network is, the more effective this is going to be. As you can see with the numerology example, I've grown up some really big accounts. I've got my Facebook page at over 100,000 fans. I've got thousands of followers on Pinterest. I've got a Twitter account, and I've got all that good stuff. And this is the key to how I've gotten this site to rank. Now, I've covered guides in the past on how you can grow up big social accounts and how you can get your content out there. But in a nutshell, with Facebook, you want to set up a page, you want to make it look good, you want to run some ads to your page to get some likes. So a while back, I set up an ad for this page targeting people that like numerology. I would target mobile only because usually that's how you get the cheapest fans. I usually target first world countries, and boom, you'll start to get some fans right away. Stay away from paying for fake fans on Fiverr and stuff like that. These fans are usually always fake. They're untargeted, and they're just not the kind of people that are actually going to share your content. I would much rather a page with a few thousand hyper-targeted people on my page rather than 100,000 fake fans that I bought off Fiverr. If you don't have money yet to spend on ads, you can sign up to some groups and start posting your content there. Of course, you're going to want to be a bit careful with that so that you don't seem too spammy, but if you're just trying to get a few reshares initially, it's not a bad way to go. For Pinterest, you can just sign up, create an account, and you can start posting out images and link them back to your website. Now, one of the cool things about Pinterest is you don't even need many followers to actually start getting traction. It all relies on how good your images look. You can see some of the images that I posted out from my numerology site have gotten a lot of traction, and I don't even have that many followers on here. All of these reshares are really great for search engine optimization, showing Google that this content is popular and worth ranking. Do a search for your niche on Pinterest and you'll see what kind of images are performing well. Then just post similar stuff from your own site. So if you don't have money to spend on Facebook ads just yet, Pinterest is a great place to put more of your focus initially. You don't need to spend any money. You can start posting out images with good text, and then you will actually get shares and comments and likes if your images are half decent. Reddit is a really good one too. I've covered it in the past. It's especially good for certain niches. Just create an account, make a few posts, find a subreddit related to your niche, and then cheekily post a few links to your site. I've made a guide on that in the past too. That still works great. You can get a lot of traction from Reddit. You can get a lot of links, you can get a lot of shares, and all of this Google loves. Twitter is another good one. You can just sign up, put your link in your bio, add a cover image, all that stuff. You can just follow other people and they will start to follow you back. Then you can just post your content out through that. You often find that different social networks work better for different niches. So just try them all and then put more of your focus on the ones that are working the best for you. And again, the great thing is you really don't need a huge following to get some traction if you're picking low competition keywords. You just need to get a few hundred, even a few thousand fans across your social network. Create some content that's half decent so that you're getting a few links and a few social reshares. And if you do it right, pretty soon you'll find yourself starting to get that organic traffic from Google that you really want. Again, I have a lot more in-depth guides about how to specifically use the different social networks to get links and social shares and all that good stuff over on my blog, lazyarsstoner.com. Step 7 is creating videos. So one thing that you might have noticed about this site is that I also have videos and a whole YouTube setup to go with it.
Numerology of the Master number 11.
Now, YouTube and video is optional. If you're not at that stage yet, by all means, just start with regular content. I've made plenty of profitable sites that don't use videos, so don't let that put you off if you're freaked out by making videos. But I will say YouTube is quickly becoming one of my favorite ways to promote my websites. And alongside most of my sites, I'm building YouTube channels and putting out videos. And there's a few reasons that I really like YouTube. The first is you'll start showing up in the YouTube search engines. And believe me, a lot of people search for stuff in YouTube. Not just funny cats and stuff like that. People search for tutorials and how-tos and all kinds of stuff. Quite simply, YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the world. In fact, if you find a keyword that's getting searched for in Google, then chances are it also gets searched for in YouTube. So I pretty much just take my same list of keywords and then I make videos to target those exact same keywords. And often, because a lot of people don't like to make videos, often there's a lot less competition in the YouTube results too, because of the extra effort that it takes to make a video. As you can see, a lot of these videos that I'm targeting specific keywords for on YouTube rank on the first page for these keywords. Sometimes you'll even get your YouTube videos turning up in the Google search results too, and sometimes you can actually take up 2 of the first page results because one of them will be your video and one of them will be your link. So if you search for Destiny number 3, for example, I can see that I've got my video turning up and a link to my site. Another great thing about YouTube is your videos will start to turn up in the related videos section. This section can get a lot of traffic. Once Google figures out what your video is about and sees that people are watching it, they'll start to show your video in the related section of other videos that are related to your topic. So when other people are watching numerology videos, they'll find these videos too, click them and see my content. You can also promote your products and offers and stuff like that directly from your YouTube videos. As you'll see at the end of each of my video, I have a prompt to go to my website, and you can also throw a link in the description of each of your videos. And believe me, people will go to these links and buy stuff. On top of all of that too, videos are just a great way to keep people on your site for longer, which in turn Google loves to see. So videos are also good for SEO. When Google sees that someone hung around for 8 minutes to watch a whole video, they say, this must be good content. Basically, it's just win, 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 win to make videos. Now, the actual process of making videos and growing YouTube channels deserves a whole tutorial in itself, and I would like to make that. But for now, I'll just give you a few basics to get you started. So here's my sneaky secret behind making these videos easily. Each of these videos is actually more or less just reading out the same thing as the content in the article.
Have you been seeing the number 3? Specifically, have you been seeing 3 threes? The number 333 has a lot of significance.
So I'm not writing or outsourcing whole new scripts from scratch. I'm just creating this stuff from the article that's already been written. That already saves a lot of time. And then, just like the content itself, I've also outsourced the voiceovers. And I get all my voiceovers over at Fiverr.com, where if you go to the voiceover section, you'll find tons of people willing to do voiceovers for you. Just look for one that sounds semi-professional, that's got a good price, send them your script, and boom, you're done. Then I just took my recording, I put it into a video editing program. Personally, I use Adobe Premiere Pro. I know there are a lot of different ones that people like, but for me, it's Premiere Pro. It's part of the Adobe suite. There's tons of tutorials online about how to use it. You throw your voiceover in there, and then over the top, I've just thrown in a whole bunch of stock video. And all of this stock video I bought from Video Blocks. For about $100 a year on this site, you can download unlimited videos and then use them as many times as you want in your videos. So basically, I've just searched for a whole bunch of stuff related to numerology and space and sky and spiritual and all that kind of stuff. I then throw them into my video editing program, and suddenly I've got something that looks pretty decent. Then over the top of that, I throw in a royalty-free audio track. You can find free ones on YouTube by searching for free royalty tracks. You can also buy premium ones over at audiojungle.net. Then you can throw in an intro towards the start, and you can also put an outro towards the end. Again, that's for another video. I might make a video on exactly how to do that in the future. Once you've done that, you just render it and boom, you've got a video.
If the number 1111 could make a sound, it might be a pop, beep, or a loud alarm.
When you upload them to YouTube, you just want to make sure that you have a keyword-rich title, a keyword-rich description, keyword-rich tags, and a really good thumbnail. Then just embed the videos onto your site and boom, you're good to go. Now, if you've never used a video editing software, it might sound kind of complicated, but trust me, most people who edit videos taught themselves. It isn't that difficult, and if you really want to learn a new skill that's going to give you a bit of a competitive edge, I seriously recommend checking out video, because video is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and a lot of people who don't like reading articles love videos. And that is how you build a profitable site from scratch. Yes, this stuff does take effort. Yes, you do need to put in some work. But once you get to the point where you're getting that passive income rolling in, then you can take that money, reinvest it back into your site, reinvest it into other sites, outsource things. That's how you can really get started in getting off the ground. The whole thing can be very addictive. Now, if you're totally new to all this stuff and you want a bit more information on exactly how affiliate marketing works, how ranking in Google works, and all that kind of stuff, then you can check out my free newbie crash course over at lazyarsstoner.com/newbie. Don't forget to also subscribe to the channel, because I plan on putting out more videos soon. I've got a whole bunch of stuff that I would like to cover. Until next time, peace out.